私の名前はミサ。武技でもって魔を払う剣士、御剣。私はその御剣の一人。今はあるものを追っているの。魔剣、魔の力が刃となった姿。その強大な力に人は見入られ、手にした者の体を奪って何人も切り裂き、血を吸い、貪欲に力を蓄え続けるという。そして死を切り消えた少女、鈴鹿。私は御剣として魔剣を滅せなければならない。鈴鹿、かつての同門、私の友達。
On nights like these, it can feel a little quiet. Welcome to a new episode of the Gamer's Diary. This episode is about that feeling you get when you're awake past your bedtime, alone, at night, and you just feel a sense of loneliness. We've all been there, we've all done that. And sometimes it makes you think of things from the past. No, it doesn't always have to be bad things. It could be good things. But most of the time we always think about bad things during these times. It is a silent night, and the time is 12:22 a.m. And yes, it is pretty late, but I thought that it would be nice to make an episode of Gamer's Diary before going to bed. So turn on your nightlight, grab your favorite drink or snack, and sleep tight as you listen to my voice on this new episode of Gamer's Diary. Now, this series has not been going on for that long, but I really like some feedback on what you guys think about this series. Now, this episode seems to be a little different because it is a more quieter episode. Yeah, sure, the background seems to be loud. When I'm finished editing this video, I actually might decide not to have any noise in the background at all. And I might decide to put some music. But yeah, if I do that and you don't hear any music in the background, well, I'm not perfect. I'm not the best editor in the world, but I like to try to at least make some content. So, as I said before, sleep tight, get under the covers, and get comfy, because we're gonna be here for quite a bit. So, Gamer's Diary, episode 4, we're gonna talk about loneliness. That feeling you get when you stay up late at night, where you feel isolated, like no one's there, just you and your thoughts. And as you start becoming quiet, it may be quiet, but it's not sound. For as quietness arises, so do deep thoughts that we keep suppressed in the back of our mind. These deep thoughts come in, thoughts that you don't want to think about, and they bother you. These are the thoughts that we keep suppressed, that hide our true feelings, like the negative. As you sit alone in the darkness, you start to feel lonely, like a sense of emptiness. And it makes you wonder, why am I all alone? Why am I by myself? Why do I feel lonely? Why do I feel this way? I have friends. So why does it feel so lonely? Sometimes this is the best time of the night to make sure that you gather all your thoughts and collect yourself in deep, relaxing meditation. But sometimes it's not that easy. In some other cases, this is actually the worst time with the worst thoughts creeping your head. Thoughts that you don't want to mention. Like maybe about things like, oh, you didn't get this done, or oh, you didn't get that done, or oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't have a girlfriend, I'm a boyfriend, no one likes me. These thoughts tend to creep in our minds for some reason when we are alone in silence and darkness. Now, I'm here to let you know that if you feel that feeling of loneliness, especially in the dark at night when you're by yourself, I know the feeling more than anybody because I live by myself. Yes, believe it or not, I live by myself. So if anyone knows the feeling of loneliness, I would know it more than anyone else. How it feels to be lonely when you live by yourself. So yeah, before I start repeating myself, I just want to make sure I get it across. You are not the only one that feels this way. And I'm here to bring you a bit of company. Now, you might have not expected the video to be about this subject, but the title is loneliness. So if you feel lonely and you clicked on this video because you don't want to feel so lonely, you came to the right place. I'm going to provide you some company for a while. That way, maybe with the sound of my voice, you won't feel so lonely anymore after this. And if it is late at night, I hope that you can sleep well after this, 'cause tomorrow's gonna be a new day. Now, moving on to the first discussion about what brought up this subject in my mind. Now, till this very day, I still can't get over how on point, dead on the nail I was. Now, there's not that many people I talk about this with, but ever since I was in first grade, I had this feeling. A feeling that no kid would usually have. These thoughts in my mind were telling me that, they were telling me, you know, for some reason, I feel like when everything is over, when I'm done with school, and everything is said and done, I have a feeling I'm gonna be living by myself and I'm gonna have no friends. Well, I have some friends, and the friends that I have, I really appreciate and cherish them. But the part about being by myself, that was the part I was not wrong about. Who knew that when I was in first grade, that I already knew I was going to be alone? Wonder how that came about. I don't even know how I could have got that right. Obviously, I was no dumb kid. I knew what was up. So to make that hypothesis, that prediction, to be on point about it, I had to be some sort of kid that knew what he was talking about. I've always been smart. Not saying that I'm dumb, or I'm not saying that I'm the smartest person either. But what I am saying is that I am smart. I've always been smart. I just don't really show my smartness. Instead of acting all smart and everything and trying to put people down, I don't do that. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you. I'm not trying to say I'm smarter than you. I'm just saying I am smart. And I've always grown up with a sense of trying to be humble. My dad always told me that you have to be humble, and it's good to be humble. To think of all the things that people have that you don't have. But even though you don't have these things that they have, you can still do just as good as them or even better. Always remember that, okay? In order for you to get work done, in order for you to be successful, you have to put in the work. It doesn't matter how much less you have than the other person. It doesn't matter how much more you have than someone else. The bottom line is that if you want to be successful, if you want to get the work done, you have to put in the effort. So, if you are limited or think you're limited by the things that you have, you're wrong. It doesn't matter what you have at your disposal. You always can get the job done one way or another with a little bit more effort and a little more hard work. You will get there, just like everybody else did. It was pretty tough for me in high school. I always felt like things were super hard, and they were. But I am so happy that I have my high school diploma. I always told myself that same thing, saying that it was so hard because they have it so much easier than I do. I have to work this job just to bring food home to the family, me and my dad. I gave up on my dreams. I gave up singing. I gave up theater arts to go work. Ever since junior year, at the age of 15, I believe, I gave everything up to go work because that's what I had to do. I had it a little bit more rough. What am I talking about? I had it rougher than everybody else. But I still graduated just like everybody else did. Despite the fact that I had it rough, I still made it from point A to point B. And that's what matters. Sorry to go off topic there. Just the point that I was trying to make was that you don't have to have the best things to move forward and be successful in life. As long as you believe in yourself and put in the hard work, you can get the job done. Now back to the subject at hand, about loneliness. There's times where, when I used to live with my dad, it kind of did feel lonely even though I was with my dad, because there'd be times where I would be sitting down in my room with the lights off on the couch, and this was during the time I had my very first smartphone. So it was exciting having a smartphone and a computer, being able to browse the web on Facebook, look at YouTube videos, and it was summer vacation, so I didn't have to go to school either. These were very, very peaceful times. Yeah, but maybe when you feel lonely, maybe feeling lonely is just a sign that your mind is telling you that, I don't know, that you're not happy with yourself. And if you're not happy with yourself because you feel lonely, well, the best thing I could say is slow down and take it easy. There's other things to be happy about, I'm sure. Okay? And then, I don't know exactly what your situation is, what you're going through. But, trust me, I'm sure that it could be worse. This sign of this loneliness that you're feeling is a sign of uneasiness. It's a sign saying you're not happy with yourself. So, it's kind of hard to determine what the root cause of this feeling is. And sometimes it's pretty straightforward. But the point is that in order to fix this feeling, you have to find the root cause and fix it. What if there's something in your mind that is bothering you? Take 5 minutes to meditate. Think to yourself, what is it that is bothering you? Write it down on a piece of paper. You don't have to do this, but just think about it in your mind metaphorically if you're not going to do it. Get a metaphorical piece of paper and a metaphorical pencil and write down all the things that are bothering you. Okay? Write at least 3 things down that are bothering you. Okay? Now, these 3 things that are bothering you that you wrote down, I want you to look at them. And I want you to tell me which one do you think concerns you the most. Now, I'm not saying it's always good to take on your problems head on from the most concerning to the least concerning, because everything has their own pattern. Everything has their own place in this world. But what I am saying is that it makes it a little easier to be at ease with your problems and figure out what you need to do when you see them in front of you on a piece of paper. Or in this case, a metaphorical piece of paper, if you didn't get a piece of paper. Which is fine by me. I'm not gonna judge you. We are in this together. Like I said, the reason why you might be here is because you're lonely. Or you just like watching my videos and you like my Gamer's Diary series, because this series is all about me talking about myself and things that go on behind the scenes. As an update to you, if you haven't been informed, I have moved to a new apartment. So I got a new place to live at, and it's a very nice place. But back to the matter. So, you see the things that you wrote down, the things that have troubled you. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to take these things that are bothering you, and I want you to fix them if you can. Everything that's bothering you, you need to find some closure somehow. I remember on late nights, when I used to be with my ex, I remember when I was off, me and her would stay up late and we'll sit really, really close to each other and watch ghost stories and other videos I like to watch. So every time it's late at night and I find myself awake past my bedtime and not being able to sleep because there's something in my mind bothering me, I always find myself going back to those times. Sure, she's my ex for a reason, because things just didn't work out, and sometimes that's for the best. But that doesn't mean there was bad times. We've had some good times, some really good times. And on nights like these, I like to think about those good times. When I was awake on my days off, me and her would watch ghost stories together, or watch those CVC camera videos where they have the ghosts in the very, very old cameras. It's nights like those that I remember brought me the most joy. But just because I'm not doing that anymore doesn't mean those nights are over. The best thing in life is to look forward to the new beginnings. Because the best part of life is that it's not a video game. You're not always going to get the same result every time. Even though it looks like you're getting the same results every single time, I can bet you that it's not always going to be like that for long. That's what the best thing about life is. It's never the same. There's always going to be something changing. You're always going to go through your different arcs in life. And these arcs are going to be something to remember, something to cherish, or something that you learned from, whether it's good or bad. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can mention a few arcs myself off the top of my head from my past. Besides the fact of the arc I went through elementary school, the arc when I went through athletics, the arc when I went through independence in the summer, when I learned how to do things on my own, the arc where I had to get a job and I had to give up on all my dreams, the arc where I graduated high school and I was so proud of myself, the arc where I went through a breakup, and the arc where I picked up all the pieces after the breakup, and now I'm at the arc where basically everything is finally coming together, where everything is in the process of being fixed. Because sometimes you just gotta pick up the pieces and move forward. But man, it feels like I haven't started living until now. Even though like I was just fine back then, but for some reason I feel more than fine. I feel like I have something really to look forward to. I feel like I'm finally fixing things. Fixing what's wrong. What I should have done a long time ago. So, I hope that this video has helped find you some closure. Those things that you have listed, I want you to do your best to take care of those things that are bothering you, okay? I want you to find some closure, and I want you to always do your best. Always work towards your dreams, okay? And I know that I said that I gave up on my dreams when I went to go get a job. But they say to never give up on your dreams. And there's always a time to go back to those dreams. As for me, my time is coming up very soon. And I might be able to get back to my dreams where I left off. I might be able to start singing again and making my own songs. Other than that, we'll probably have a part 2 to this subject on loneliness. But if you did see this whole video through, I want to thank you for watching it with me. And I hope that you don't feel so lonely yourself anymore. Now, if there's any other questions that you may have for me, I know that I can't hear you through the video, but don't forget that there's a comment section below. So if there's any questions you want or anything you want to talk about, just leave a comment below and like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video, and you have a good night. Sleep tight.